Let's talk about your pardon now. The Pardon Snowden campaign launched in September, led by backers like George Soros, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, the ACLU. What do you think your chances are that President Obama will in fact pardon you?
Well, I'm not counting on it, and this is the key here. The possibility for a pardon, it seems to every expert who's looked at this issue, has never been more likely. And this is a surprise to myself more than anyone else, I think.
Why do you say that?
Well, just a few days ago, we had 15 members of the Church Committee. Most people may not remember what they are, but in the 1970s, the intelligence organizations went through the greatest period of oversight of their history. They sort of pulled up the blankets and looked at what was happening at the CIA, the NSA, the FBI. They were writing letters to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., saying that they had tapes of what he had done in hotel rooms, and if he didn't commit suicide, they were going to release them and destroy his reputation. They were secretly administering psychedelic drugs to college students to see the impacts they would have. They were engaging in assassination operations that were contrary to both American and international law. All kinds of crazy things. These individuals who are experts in what's going on in intelligence at the classified level, who worked for the government, right? These aren't sort of hippie reformers or anything like that. They argued that President Obama should seriously consider leniency in this case. They said that this case has caused far more benefits to American society, which I think is uncontroversial at this point, than any claimed harms for which we've never seen evidence.
If you had 1 minute to make your case face-to-face to President Obama, what would you say to convince him to pardon you?
I wouldn't. I would respectfully say to the president, I understand you have an incredibly difficult job. No one wants to be a whistleblower. This is something that's hard to do. It's hard enough to stand up to a bully in your life, to your boss in the office, much less the combined might of the National Security Agency, the FBI, and the apparatus of government. Nobody's going to volunteer for that. Nobody's going to sort of take this as a precedent and it's going to open floodgates. But there's one thing that I would hope he understands, and I think based on his recent statements, he does. He said that my actions and this journalism raised legitimate concerns. We're living in a time today where journalism is occurring in an environment of an extraordinary threat. And as official sources of information for the American citizen, the American voter, begin to dry up, confidential sources, the sources upon which the best journalism has always relied, people in government who know the reality of what's actually going on, particularly when the operations of government start to go out of bounds, are critical now. And this is America. When something goes wrong, don't we want somebody to stand up and say something about it?
Are you saying it's particularly important in a Trump administration or in a Republican-controlled Washington?
I don't think it's about party. I don't think it's about person. I do think the incoming president has definitely said he plans to break some furniture, right? He would be the last to deny this. And that means we need to be careful. That means we need to prepare.